Hey everyone, Dave here. Got my 2010 Audi Q5 in the garage, and today I'm going to be replacing a front lower control arm. So let's get started. Okay, here we are. Step one, car up in the air, wheel off, steering turned all the way to the left and locked, and let's just take a look at what's involved with this job here. Here's the new control arm. Through bolt on one end, ball joint on the other, and if we look here in the car, there is the through bolt on that side. Looks pretty accessible, and the ball joint on the other end. So we'll take this off, we'll separate the ball joint on the outside and take that through bolt out, pull the arm off. Sounds easy. Let's see what happens. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is loosen this through bolt here, and there's an 18mm nut on this side. I can sneak my wrench in here, hopefully, and lock onto it. Okay, so I got a good bite on the nut side of it. I'd rather turn the nut than the bolt, and I'm sure this is not pretty tight, so I'm going to lock another wrench on here for leverage. And let's see if I can break this free. Well, that was rather easy. Alright. Now I'm going to put my ratcheting gear wrench on it to speed this up a little bit. Okay, and now the whole bolt is spinning, which is good. I know it's not frozen and locked in there. Let me get an 18mm to hold this side. Now my wrench is trapped in there. Tell you what, I'm just going to leave that wrench on there for right now, and then we're going to separate the other end of it, and then maybe we can swing that arm up and down and get more access to that bolt and that wrench. So, nut's loose, bolt is spinning freely, that's all good. Let's go to the ball joint side. Okay, here's the nut on the ball joint end. This is 21mm. Let's see if we can zing this off. Alright, next thing I want to do is separate this ball joint. It's pressed in here. I'm going to use this tool. Like that. Okay, so now with the ball joint end off, I got all kinds of room now. I'm going to grab a vice grip over here, see if I can't pull this bolt out, and then get the nut off. Okay, I'll get my wrench out, see if I can spin this nut off. Nut is off. Bolt is out. Control arm is out. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to try to keep my head out of the way here, but now we're just going to put the new control arm in. Like so. And I can't get this out of the way for you to see, but you know what's back there. See if we can't get it started. Okay, and I feel the bolt coming through the nut now, so I know I got it started. Alright, now I'm just going to get it snugged up. I'm not going to tighten this yet, but I am going to get it snug so that when I do go to tighten it, I don't have to do all of this. I can just do the final twist. Alright, and now we're going to attach the outer ball joint side. Alright, now I'm going to try to put this end in. I'd like to get this thing at the right angle and in the right direction so that when I do get it over the hole, it slides in all the way. This ball joint is hard to turn. It's brand new. The old one, I could just move with my fingers. This thing, I can't budge it. But let me try to get it at the right angle. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. If we get it lined up over the hole now, it should slide in. Well, we're going to find out. Let's see what happens here. Alright, I'm close here. I'm going to try and turn the steering wheel to the right, straighten the wheel out a little bit, see if that doesn't bring the knuckle closer to where it needs to be, and I can just drop that control arm in there. So let me go turn the steering wheel a little bit. Alright, so I turn the steering wheel a little bit more to the right, which swings the knuckle over. Now it lines up pretty good with the ball joint. And so now we just got to push this ball joint in, get the nut started. Okay, so there's enough threads to come through that I can get this small nut on it. I think the problem is that the angle of that ball joint is still not right, and it's so hard to turn. And I'm going to pull it through with this nut. Alright, now I got enough threads showing through that I can get this one started. And sock that down. Okay, this nut can be tightened without preloading it, so that's not a problem. And I want to torque this down 145 Newton meters, I believe, is the spec. There we go. Very close to what the impact had. Alright, so now I want to tighten up that inner bolt, but I want to compress the suspension a little bit, so I'm going to lower the car down gently on a jack stand to compress the suspension. Make sure I'm on a good spot. Leave the jack gently under the car, so if it does slip out for some reason, it's still on a jack. So this compresses suspension now. This is very near ride height, and so now I'm going to go sock down this bolt in the back that goes through a rubber bushing. And so we don't want the rubber bushing to be twisted when the car is parked. So basically we'll tighten it when the car is like parked and in on the ground. That way the twist can go up and down, and there's no tension on it when it's at rest. Alright, this is 18 millimeter. Okay, I'm not going to get a torque wrench in there. So I'm going to use my internal torque wrench on this one. I can see the nut, the bolt is not spinning. And that should be more than enough. So now I'm going to jack the car back up and get all the pressure and tension off of this floor jack. Okay, so you probably saw the little bit of pivoting here. So now the rubber bushing is slightly flexed downward, and under compression of the suspension it will be slightly twisted upward, but in the park and idle position there'll be no stress at all on that. It'll last a lot longer, won't fail or break prematurely, and that's why you torque this one at ride height. Okay, quick review. We've got, we only took apart 2 bolts. This bolt here, we just torqued it. This bolt down here, we torqued it. And didn't have to take anything else off. I think I am ready to put a couple of fasteners back in here to tighten this down. And then put the wheel back on. Alright, here we are. Wheels back on, car's back on the ground. We are done with this little project, and I gotta say that wasn't bad at all. 2 bolts is all we had to take off, and probably fought the most with trying to get the outer ball joint into the knuckle. And my suggestion is just to try to get the angle right so that once you get it over the hole it slides all the way through. And I pulled it through with a nut, but I mean, other than that it was pretty good. But somebody please remind me the next time I get brakes to not get whatever brake pads I put on here. Look at that wheel. It is just always like that. It's terrible. I mean, the brakes work awesome. You've come up on the highway where traffic stops right in front of you. I've always been able to, you know, moderate pressure on the pedal. I mean, this thing stops hard. Always felt like there was plenty of brake left, but the wheels are just dirty all the time and I can't stop it. But that's another video. So there we are, the front, lower, rearward control arm 2010 Audi Q5. Not bad. Hope you enjoyed that video. If so, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, thanks for watching.